Hello everyone.
Guys.
Hello guys. Glad to be back with you.
Hello from everywhere in the world, apparently.
Yeah, cool. Georgia, South America, cool. Mexico, cool.
And Roussillon. Nice.
Cool. Even in France, Spain, cool. Everyone. And I just see names that we do know. Hello Carlos. Hello Bruno. Hello Jonathan. Hello Cesar. Hello Esteban. Hello David. Nice to be there with you. As always, we start fast. So today is a big one. And I do know by speaking with you guys that it's something like really important. It's around migration. So when you speak about migration, it's always something horrible that's coming in and always a huge pain. And of course, it's deeply linked with Odoo and any ERP systems. You've got like some upgrades. And well, AI can give you a lot of help on this, and definitely HelloLeo can give you a lot of help on this. I'm going to share my screen so that you do see that. It's going to be a two-part. First, I'm just doing a small presentation and a small recap why building on top gives you a lot of possibilities. And then I'm going to let my mic to Augustine, who's going to do in live a migration from Odoo 18, I think, to Odoo 19 on an application that he's building.
Exactly.
Yes?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, let's start. So I'm sharing my screen right now. Do you see it? Yes, I think you see it.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, cool. So I don't see you anymore. So here is my screen. So definitely when we start with Leo, I think you guys know something. It's building on top of Odoo. And a lot of people are asking us, but why would you build on top and not build inside? Well, a lot of reasons, but today we are here to speak about one reason, and it's the migration part. So definitely when you build inside Odoo, it's not that the same thing that building on top of Odoo. And a big advantage of building on top of Odoo instead of inside is for the migration part. So definitely when we speak together around, I'm sorry, my slides goes too fast. When we speak together around building inside versus building outside and migration, basically you must have this scheme in your head. So the main difference is that you've got 4 different parts on inside Odoo. You've got the data modeling of each version of Odoo. You've got the business logic, meaning the workflow, the permission, the different rule inside your Odoo system. Then you've got the native UI, and then you've got your own front end. Okay, so this is the 4 stacks that exists when you build inside Odoo. And definitely when you do an upgrade, well, the 2 last version, mainly the native UI and the front end, are the ones that are going to be the most fragile and the most likely to break when you do an upgrade. Of course, sometimes data modeling is changing, sometimes there are upgrades that affect these things, but mainly Odoo doesn't handle the front end that you will be customizing and that you will be building. And so when you migrate to another version, basically building inside means sometimes redoing things. And there is a small word here, it's high coupling, high migration costs. So coupling definitely means if you do a lot of things inside, well, when you migrate, it costs a lot. And that's where HelloLeo comes in. And I think we can see HelloLeo as a comparison of Odoo Studio. So basically, Odoo Studio is the no-code version, 2015 version of like building applications. It's no coding. So basically, you just drag and drop stuff and you create an application that do look like your needs. It was an advantage, of course, of customizing your Odoo system and of being able to build custom apps for you guys. But however, 2 things. First thing, well, at the AI era, well, you want to prompt applications and you want ultra customization. You don't want to drag and drop stuff and you don't want to have some things that just look like, okay, just okay, and not exactly the application you were imagining. So first thing. And the second thing, and I think it's the one you are here today, it's when you migrate from one version to another, everything you've been building is breaking. It's going to be break. And when this happens, well, you do have a lot of work to adapt it to your new version, to the Odoo 19 you are on, and it takes a lot of work. And basically, when you build with Leo, it's a completely different setup. So on the left, it's building inside Odoo Studio. On the right, it's building on top of like Odoo with HelloLeo. And well, the logic, and I think it's on the next step, yeah, it's much clearer. So you can see that you've got your Odoo ERP backbone, where you've got your system of record, the data model, a lot of backend functions, automations. And then there is the integration. So basically, that's how HelloLeo works. We work as we work through the API calls. So we do call inside your database of Odoo, inside your Odoo system. And then there is the headless application. So with the headless application, you can be building customer portal, field service application, sales dashboard, any analytics, warehouse application, even AI agents. We are going to be speaking about that in the future, but you can build on top. And so when you build an application on top, basically the front end and the UI don't depend on Odoo. And as it don't depend on Odoo, well, you've got the freedom to build anything. And then when you migrate from Odoo 18 to Odoo 19, the migration is only one thing. It's updating the API endpoints, updating the API endpoints. And again, for API, Odoo is amazing for its documentation, which is always up to date. We feed always Leo with the documentation. And so Leo do know the difference between the Odoo 18 endpoints of the API and the Odoo 19 endpoints. So definitely, it's just a one-prompt thing inside Leo, and that's what we're going to do today. That's what Augustin is just going to do right after, by showing how you can build an app with HelloLeo and migrate it from Odoo 18 to Odoo 19 in one prompt. Maybe not one prompt. Let's see what happens just right after. But I want you to get the idea. It's the scheme that is not the same. So I think I'm going to let you the voice now, Augustin, and I'm going to share the presentation after with everyone that is being there at the live. Again, I'm really glad that you're here, and you're going to be able to see the difference between building inside and building outside of HelloLeo. But mostly, if you just like can keep one thing in your mind before switching to the live demo, it's inside Odoo. It's amazing for the like by default modules on inventory, on accounting, where you don't have to add anything and you just like fine tune the data model. And when you do migration between Odoo 18 to Odoo 19, well, Odoo keeps like really a lot of ease inside this migration. But of course, if you build custom application, if you build with Odoo Studio, if you build with custom fields, with custom appearance, well, everything is going to be like broken on the next version. And that's why you need to build on top. And I think I got it clear, Augustin. If you want to take back the screen.
Perfect. Thanks, Noé. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we do see your screen.
Okay, great. So, well, as you said, yeah, very good example of a complex migration. Odoo migration was 18 to 19. Maybe not everyone here will agree on that, but it was a migration with a lot of complex changes. You had more than like 200 field and model names that were updated by Odoo, a lot of constraints that were dropped, legacy constraints, new ones that were added. So I would take these two versions as an example. Here I have two test Odoo instances. I have Odoo 18 instance here, so we'll just check the version. Yeah, Odoo 19 Community Edition, and I have a Odoo 19 here. If I can grab the settings page. Oh, I lost my connection. Let me reload. Or maybe I have 403. So I will just reload this one. Well, it will come back in a minute. This is my
the live version.
Yeah. Well, on this one I cannot do anything with my HelloLeo, I think, but it will come back in a minute. I have my Odoo 19 version here, but I will access it when I need it in a minute. So, well, I cannot even access HelloLeo. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, we do hear you.
Apparently, I cannot access anything. So, just give me a minute.
Yeah, no worries. If you got some question, maybe, so it's, as you know, and as many of you like have been in the previous lives, it's always built in live. So again, we the importance of this slide is to show you that with AI, sometimes you need to iterate, and definitely sometimes everything don't go perfectly within the first prompt, and so definitely you need to iterate. And so having some issues in life is really helpful for you. That's why we do it like that. However, if it's a network issue, well, of course, not linked with AI, but of course. If you have any questions, by the way, please do put them in the Q&A only, so that we do have a lot of visibility on the questions. And I'm always a bad student answering at questions directly into the chat. So please put them in the Q&A only. And it gives me the opportunity, while Augustin is solving the issue, it gives me the opportunity to remind you what is HelloLeo. So HelloLeo, we're a vibe coding tool on top, and I'm going to share my screen. We are a vibe coding tool on top of Odoo, which means that our system is made to build custom applications directly on top of your Odoo system. So when you start an application, you just need to connect your Odoo system with the API I've been telling you. And once the API is live, well, you can create any new project. So you can create applications like, for example, the sales intervention logger that I do have here. It's a field service application. You can build sales analytics dashboard where you can build anything. And once you publish the application, you can publish it inside your Odoo system. When I mean inside your Odoo system, it means it will live right in here. However, it lives on top. It means that the URL and the infrastructure is not Odoo. So when you build with Leo, you build completely outside of the Odoo framework. And that's why we are doing it today with the migration part. Building outside of the Odoo framework makes it really easy to migrate. And that's what Augustin will show you. I'm not sure if you solved the issue.
I'm back. I just restarted my my Wi-Fi connection. It seems to work. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we do see your screen.
Sorry for the interruption, guys.
No worries.
So I do have my two Odoo instance, my 18, 19 here. So we'll start by connecting my Odoo 18 instance. What I'll start from scratch. I'll build a new project. One of the main use cases we've seen so far, like the sales cockpit dashboard. This is often a starting point for our new users, our new clients, because I think, it's always very customized what you want to see, and it includes analytics, like everything that is linked to the way you want to display for your sales team, some KPIs, maybe attach, having the same interface, information about your orders, about your leads, everything that is not natively done well by Odoo, that can be a pain to build in Odoo Studio. And here you do it with one or two prompts. So I'll start with this one, the sales dashboard cockpit, to show some KPI cards about my sales from my Odoo 18. I will just connect my Odoo 18 instance first. Where is my URL? It's here. I'll connect this one. And taking the occasion to the opportunity to mention that this process of saving a new connection each time can be improved by we are soon shipping an update to have the possibility to reuse connections across projects, and especially to have connections like staging, Odoo connections that you can reuse across your staging projects, and the same goes for production. So, but here I'm using the manual version, so I just put my Odoo 18 connection, so everything is validated. So I connect that. Okay, new thing here, you can also now validate from scratch your full permission. So this is a new feature we've added. It comes on different, it comes in different places, the HelloLeo workspace. But basically here, I'm using my, this is my Odoo connection for HelloLeo Builder, like the agent will build my application, and I can right away customize my permissions. I will start easy. I will leave all my permissions open because I'm only developing right now, so I don't need the permissions, but I can get back to the screen after that and limit my permissions to the models, Odoo models that I need. So I will save here. And I will share this prompt with Leo to start building the project. So very quick review of my prompt. KPI cards, confirmed revenue, number of orders, average of order value, and a bar chart below that, and especially below all these elements, table of confirmed sales orders. And this will be important because this includes fields that were changed from Odoo 18 to Odoo 19. So the mobile number, for instance, disappeared. It went to another field. Same for the unit of measure and the taxes applied. So what HelloLeo will do, as always, first is to inspect my Odoo to fetch the necessary models and data that it needs to build my project. So it went on and checked my sales orders, my REST partner, and now is creating the basis of the project that will appear in, I would say, 30 seconds here. And so next step, after that, we'll have a working project on top of Odoo 18. We'll connect the project to Odoo 19. It will break some features, and we'll ask Leo to analyze the differences that are included in Odoo 19 based on the project, and he will update the project hopefully in one prompt. And the same process would go for a bigger project. So it would be a quick demo of how migrating a HelloLeo built project from one Odoo version to another one will work. And maybe in the meantime, while HelloLeo is developing, maybe we can take a few questions.
Yes.
And I see, yeah, Honoré, please.
I am taking the opportunity to answer. Sorry for the sound. I'm in a room, and maybe if the sound is bad, please tell us in the chat. I will try to improve or move.
Okay.
I got one question from Jason. Hi, Jason. And it's a really good one. So, assuming both are already integrated, what are the pros and cons of using HelloLeo versus Claude Cowork or Claude Code? This is a really good one. So basically, both tools can do the same things on like chatting with your Odoo instance, creating some applications, some front end and everything. So you do feel like it's the same. However, it's not the same for different reasons. First thing is, well, and I think there are two different parts, and I'm just going to share my screen on this one. I'm sorry, but we got something like for that. So I think you see my screen. So when you build an application, there are two parts. There is the building part and there is the running part. So running means running production. Okay, let's go for the first part, building an application with HelloLeo versus an AI coding tool. Well, basically, what you need to remember on this one is Claude Code comes with a lot of liberty. But are you a developer? Are you a software developer? Do you know how to handle the harness around Claude Code so that when you make some actions on data in production, on an when you're building an application that maybe is going to have users, are you sure that you're not going to mess around with your data of like the historical data of your company? And we do see a lot of things with HelloLeo, a lot of people that are using Claude Code and breaking everything into production. I like to compare Claude Code as a Kalashnikov. It's a really powerful gun, but when you know how to use it. When you don't know how to use a Kalashnikov, it's dangerous because sometimes you're going to aim at the target, but aiming at the target will make you break everything around. So Claude Code is a tool for developers that likes the liberty to creating their own harness, to creating their own security, to have their full environment of developer and to do some customization for them. But for you, you don't like that because you don't have the background, the technical background to put the right security, the right guardrails to protect your data. So first, there is a matter of security. And then there is another matter. If you use Claude Code, every time you start an application, you restart from scratch. So you don't start from a template. You have to redo the integration with Odoo. You have to redo everything inside your application, and you don't get any leverage between one application to the 10th application you've been building. And the last but not least, last one, as an organization, when you build, you want to have like something at the scale of your company, making sure that everyone is building at the same place with API connections that are trackable and everything done at the same place. However, when you do it with Cloud Code, there is nothing like that. You are like on your computer, on your own computer, doing stuff on your own. And definitely you're not doing stuff as a company. And so those are the things just for the build. And for the run, well, obviously, when you build with Cloud Code, Cloud doesn't handle the infrastructure. So you need to take a third-party tool, let's say Vercel, which is really trendy at the moment. But same, when you do use a tool to deploy, well, again, as a company, everyone is going to deploy at different places. You're going to need to manage different infrastructures, different API endpoints, different applications. And that's the role of HelloLeo. Creating a harness for you to build in one place and deploy in one place, everything secured, and with HelloLeo as a responsible. When you build with Cloud Code, you are responsible for what you do, for the security, for the integration, for maintaining the application. With HelloLeo, it's HelloLeo that is responsible. So I hope I did answer your question. There would be a lot of other stuff to say because it's a really good question. But I hope that my answer is quite good.
Yeah, and I will just add very quickly that we are building a whole workspace to help you build on top of your Odoo. And this means that everything that we build and maintain is really done to like help our users and clients like win some time using it. So for instance, we have a lot of integrations that often come with Odoo. So as Honore said, we maintain the Odoo integration that you will have to maintain yourself, but we also have a lot of integrations that otherwise you would also have to integrate and maintain yourself. And it can be tricky when you build a small project. It can become totally impossible, even if you're a developer, when you want to run things at scale. And this is what we see more and more, like companies building with HelloLeo applications that run their production, that run their MRP better, that run their production. And when things go wrong, they have a $10,000 penalty, for instance, an example we had very recently. Well, we avoided that, but they ship 1 million packages a month. If there is an error in delivery, they cannot manage it manually. They want to automate it. So if you add on top of that the responsibility to maintain the integrations, the environment, what you mentioned, Honore, the fact that you maintain the different, sometimes 10 applications on top of your Odoo, well, it's not your job to do it. And actually, I would just correct one thing you said, Honore. We see more and more developers also using, I would agree that developers would use Cloud Code, but we also see more and more developers from bigger companies that use HelloLeo, especially because they value the fact that they don't have to recreate everything. They don't have to maintain everything. They want to focus on their work. And actually, in the future, we are also working on maybe opening our services directly to Cloud Code to consume it as MCP. So yeah, again, maybe soon it won't be using one or the other, but where you use one, where you use the other. But I would say that globally, we are the AI layer on top of your ERP. We are really focusing on building the best workspace for that. And this is where we differ from Cloud Code. And sorry for the long answer. And I'll get back to the build if okay for you, Honore.
Yeah, good.
So, well, I didn't cheat. Honore was sharing his screen, but this is a project that popped up after my prompt. So I have a very nice looking sales dashboard. All this data is coming from my Odoo 18. I recognize data, so let's fetch. For instance, I have I have my revenue by customer. I can see that I have Gemini Furniture. If I go to my sales, and yeah, I can see that I have the Gemini Furniture customer here. I can see a sales order, the 7407, and it should be somewhere here, and it is the right amount, $1,706. So this is real data coming from my Odoo. So very cool. If I toggle and I open an order, I can see its detail. And I should be able to see the contact information that are linked with this sales order. So for instance, the mobile number of my clients. So very small detail, but this is one of the elements that changed in Odoo 19. So now I'll get back to the next step. I'll go to the next step. I'll connect my Odoo 19, my Odoo 19, yeah, and where I have the same data. You can see that I have the same data here. So let's say I'm just in the situation that I conducted the migration to Odoo 19, and now I have I have a bunch of custom applications that were built using HelloLeo. And the big difference with what we see a lot with our new users, basically they all come from the same situation. They have a lot of custom development in Node.js, in React, in Vue.js. That is not centralized. It was built by a developer inside or outside the company years ago. Maintenance not very clear and very hard to update. Here it's very different. I have all my applications in HelloLeo. I just have to update the Odoo connection first. So just a little precision also. I'm in dev version. I didn't publish this app, but if it were published, this would be a good way also to show that my published version can stay on my Odoo 18 version while I'm performing the migration here. Maybe we'll talk about that later, Honoré. And so I will just connect my Odoo 19 version. Check. So 19 community, very good. I will select the demo 19 database and get my API key. Okay. And save the connection. So it will send an automatic prompt to Leo. I can stop that. I will just let him fetch the information just to see if he recognizes that there is a difference. Okay, well, he went on very fast, but I want to control. I just want to show first what's happening in the application. So I connected Leo. He went on to check the new Odoo connection, so that is good. And he directly identified that I had different fields, invalid fields. So this is good. But let's just first check that the application is not working as it should. And indeed, I used to have all my data fetched correctly. And now I have 2 errors. And they should be coming from the REST partner field, because the mobile field on REST partner doesn't exist anymore. And I cannot see the mobile anymore, the contact information anymore. And it also broke. I can see the detail of my order, because it was also linked. It was also linked to the unit of measure. That is another field. So my application broke. It didn't break so bad. It didn't break so bad because, globally it seems to be quite well coded. So the rest is working, but I'm missing some information. So I can now explain to Leo that, and let me fetch a prompt. We just upgraded our Odoo to a new version 19, and we connected the dashboard to it. Now it's broken. Well, let's say that some features are broken. Look at what's changed in the new Odoo and fix so everything displays again. So very simple prompt. And Leo will fetch again the live schema because the data model changed, and identify all the different fields. Okay, so some fields are okay, and tax IDs should not work because this is a field that's changed across versions. See. Oh, the field schema itself hasn't changed. Let's say, maybe the new connection is not live. Well, I will let him finish the analysis. Thanks, Honoré. Okay. Okay, so now, So okay, so Leo had to fetch quite a lot of resources on Odoo side, but not bad. And the fetch KPI score, which is a call that he designed in the first prompt. Well, partner ID seems to have changed. I honestly didn't know this one had changed because I know that the mobile number, for instance, is not the same. And let's see. Okay, a lot of text. Okay. Well, we'll let Leo change it. And what's interesting is that the process, well, this one is a quite simple example. I only have 3 fields that should be updated, but basically it will work the same for bigger Odoo. And of course, in the real use cases that we see in production are much bigger than that. Sometimes you have to migrate from an older version to a newer version of Odoo, so much more changes. You have also a lot of custom models, but what's interesting is that, as I said earlier, we really build everything on top. So the AI layer, applications, and very soon AI agents live on top of the API, which is much easier to analyze. Changes are much easier to analyze compared with building like very intricate code inside Odoo. So even for bigger changes, like a lot of custom models, everything can be identified through the API, where everything that is used by Leo will be identified through the API. And okay, well, it seems to have worked, and I will just reload my API here.
Don't go too fast. Explain people when you click on the network calls and everything.
Sorry. You're right, Anoy. So I used to have. This is my. This is a small network monitoring tool where you can see all the calls that are performed from the application that you build to the Odoo API. Before I updated, I had like a few errors that corresponded to the fields that changed from between Odoo 19, Odoo 18, Odoo 19. And now, well, all my calls are green, which means I don't have any errors left. And my data is back here. I used to, like, my sales order used to be missing the, well, information contact, the sales order elements. And so everything is back. And yeah, everything seems to be working good. So very simple example, but this is exactly how you can conduct a migration on an application that is built with HelloLeo on top of Odoo. Another thing that you can do also is, for this one, I went directly to the build mode, but I could also have like switched to plan mode and asked for an audit first, like to analyze all the differences between Odoo 18 and Odoo 19 in our project, and first generate a report, and then have Leo use that report to update every element that need to be updated. And then when I'm happy with the changes, me and my team, we performed all the tests that we need. I can publish to update the version that was using Odoo 18 to Odoo 19 that was migrated. And so, yeah.
Really cool. Really cool. Can I jump into Augustin?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, cool. Audio again. I'm sorry, I'm having some issue with my audio. I can't speak, I think.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, Bruno, tell me it's bad audio. I can't speak. I'll let you, Augustin. Okay,
no problem. Well, next I will just check if sorry guys for the audio and if you have of course, if you have any question about I see we have a few questions. I see that well, sorry, I have a lot of questions. We have a few questions about enterprise version versus Odoo Online. It works with both. So, for instance, I'm using Odoo Community here. These are self-hosted versions of Odoo, but most of our clients use Odoo Enterprise. So it works perfectly with both versions. Hence, we have more companies. One instance is this dashboard multi-company. Well, very good question. Actually, I think I have 2 companies here. So you can definitely, you can do a lot of things. It really depends on what you want to build. But here, by default, I think it went for, my first company from San Francisco, because this one doesn't have any data. If I switch to it, yeah. So it just fetched the default company, I think. But you can definitely work. You can do several things. You can aggregate data from several companies if you want. You can also ask Leo to add a login dashboard. This is usually what our users do when they create internal tools. I can ask Leo to add a login portal for my users and portal users to log in using their Odoo access. And it will add a login portal on top of my application, secure it, of course. And also, I can use this to, if I have several companies, several employees coming from different companies, I can also use that to filter the data that will be shown to each user. Like if I'm coding from company 1, I will only see data from company 1. It really depends on what I'm building. And sorry, let me take other questions. Jama, yeah, you're absolutely right. There are several ways to use HelloLeo for migrations, but the most recent demands we had, because usually when we plan our building live sessions, we plan them based on the request we have from the community. And we had a lot of questions about how to migrate in headless environments, because this is quite new for a lot of users. They were not used to build applications on top of Odoo like that. So this whole headless architecture is quite new. And actually, we were swarmed with demands about that. So we wanted first to organize a session to explain how to migrate custom development applications that were built on top of Odoo. But yes, we also plan to have a session dedicated on how HelloLeo can help to follow migration. We've already seen actually users build some migration cockpit helpers to help them test and follow the migrations from HelloLeo. So we'll definitely organize another session about that. Sorry if the session wasn't clear about that. And no, just jump in when you want to try your audio, no worries. There are a lot of things. And Jason, another question regarding security. I was very good question. Sorry, let me read it, fully read it. Is there an easy or recommended way to secure public HelloLeo application websites using the contacts model of Odoo? What I just built is one example. So usually the best way to do it is just to reuse Odoo authentication the way I just did it. So, actually, I don't know my users on this Odoo instance. So let me check if I have some employees. Yes. Let me see if I can use my, I will try to use my main Odoo user here. Check, will it work? Okay, perfect. So this is my Odoo admin. So it works with my Odoo admin. And now I have a login on top of my application. It shows all the data because I'm logged in as an admin, obviously, but I can filter the data that is being shown based on the Odoo rights of the user. This is actually quite useful because you don't have to recreate a whole permissions users layer on top of your Odoo. This is really what we want to avoid. Everything is already built and secure inside Odoo. We also have just to follow up on security and users' rights, we also have a lot of clients that use Microsoft for all their users' permissions. So we also have the possibility to use our Microsoft integration from from our integrations library. So you can also use the Microsoft integration, to authenticate users if they live in your Microsoft instance. And we also have some SSO capabilities that are coming for Odoo and other integrations to have the possibility to reuse the SSO login system across your projects. So you would only build once your login system, and then you can build like 10 projects and reuse the same authentication system across your project. Just a quick example, this is already what we see with our NetSuite clients, because NetSuite is a bit different. The NetSuite integration is a bit different. The authentication system exists by default in HelloLeo projects on top of NetSuite, and the same will go for Odoo or Microsoft. And Honoré, are you back?
Yes, I think I'm back. Maybe if you got some issues, guys, can you write me in the chat if there are some issues with the sound? If you don't say anything, I hope it's okay. Yeah, I think quite a few things important on what you had to add on what you said, Augustin. Thank you for the demo. Again, the migration cockpits. We know those sessions are quite short. We've got 30 to 45 minutes, and we want to show you impact. And I think this headless part was a question and a question, coming back and coming back and coming back. And so I think it was important to explain to you the advantage of building headless and the whole advantage of it. And again, on this migration use case, it's a really good way to show you the impact of building headless. And I think, because I've been speaking a lot about that, but Salesforce is said to be coming headless. With headless systems, you can also bypass some Odoo licenses that you don't need. You can have one Odoo paying license and diffuse some different capabilities to headless applications, where we could do 10 different lives on this headless interest of building applications headless. So today we wanted to add on the migration part, but definitely, Germain, a lot of people are also building with HelloLeo cockpits of migration. So they use HelloLeo to speak with their Odoo system and building application to be able to monitor the different routes, the different applications that live inside, and the different things that lives inside their Odoo. And they build the cockpit, and we are going to be speaking in the next few weeks around agents. But one thing you're going to be able to use within HelloLeo, just near Chat with Leo, there are going to be a new section called Odoo Business Analyst, and it's going to be a chat where you can be speaking with HelloLeo on your Odoo system. So you can be asking anything, and you can be like, use HelloLeo as your Odoo integrator or as your Odoo partner on that. So it's the first thing I wanted to add. And another thing that was, I think, quite important is the liberty of building headless. And I know you guys, a lot of you guys have been speaking to us about Odoo raising prices. And I've been following Fabien, and Fabien just communicated today that Odoo lost 35 million in net results last year. So definitely, I think prices are going to increase because Odoo needs some money. They need to finance everything. And of course, the fact of locking you down and then augmenting price is the natural course of things that are going to happen. And so you want to be free of living tomorrow, and you want as a client to be able to not like end as an SAP customer that is completely locked in. And well, with AI and with building headless, you've got this facility. And we see a lot of customers that decide even, to go back on an Odoo community and build headless application that lives on top of their Odoo community. And so then you can come from an Odoo enterprise plan costing thousands of euros to like a simple plan, maybe coming in hundreds of euros. So yeah, I think it's quite important to say that. There is another question from Nicholas. Do we write anything to version 19 at any point? I did not quite get the question, Nicholas. I'm sorry for that. Can you be more specific on your question? And there is a question from Pedro Antunes. Hello, Pedro. Can HelloLeo also help when we need to migrate from one version to another without any custom modifications, just managing the changes from one version to another? I think I answered this question with the cockpit, and I'm going to be doing a video that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, because I think there is a bit of frustration on this one. So building an application at the cockpit to be able to do the migration from your Odoo 18 to Odoo 19, but using an application to manage this transition. I think it's a good thing to do, and we're going to do a video and build a template and put it on HelloLeo's website. Again, I invite you to use a lot of the templates. When you start building with Leo, we basically got 2,000 users building on HelloLeo, the same application that you could be using. So we build some templates and we share them on the HelloLeo website. So if you want to do, I don't know, an HR portal, well, instead of starting from scratch, just go on the template section, select HR portal, and yes, start with that. And we're going to do the same with the cockpit. We're going to build this application as a template, the cockpit for migration, and we're going to share it with the community so that you can start with it next time. Is there any more question, or should we wrap this up? I think it's okay. Yes, sorry guys today for the sound on my end. Wrong fortune. I'm sorry for that. Again, I think we do a lot of building live, so of course, definitely we sometimes things crash in live. Sorry for that. Hope it was useful. I think it was, because this headless part is like the future of you building and using ERP systems. So if you got any question, please go on the website, ask us question. We do answer you like a lot on the chat, so don't feel free to reach out on the chat. Send us in any email if you want. You've got 5 credits to start when you create an account on HelloLeo. Enjoy it, and yeah, of course. So bye bye, Augustin.
Yeah, sorry, Noé.
Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you, Noé, for hosting. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, coming soon with a lot of new features. We're building a lot at the moment. Agents, business analysts, as Noé mentioned. So next building live will be quite interesting. So yeah, hope to see you guys very soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.